We'll gather round, feel the love compound. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, for today, I want to play around with the Elmer's glue mica powder, but I want to add some more stuff into it. So, let's do it with some pigment paste and some glitters as well. That's what I want to do. See what happens if the pigment paste has any effect on it. The glitters I'm not doing by themselves, so I'm going to mix it in with my interference powders. Now I've mixed up 6 ounces of Let's Resin's epoxy resin, and I have put it through the bubble remover already so that we don't have to wait for all of that. I mean, well, you guys don't have to wait for anything. I have to wait. You know what I mean. Anyway, now I'm dividing it into 5, yes, 5 cups. She can count, ladies and gentlemen. And these are going to be for the colors. And then we're going to also keep some clear set to the side because I am going to put down some clear first just because. Now I'm also going to use Into Resin's Water Ripple Butterfly mold. And then this, I think it's a rose mold that I got, I want to say off Temu. And we're gonna play around with it and see what happens. All right, so for the pigment paste, I am using Rolio's Deep Black Pigment Paste. I really like this. You get a stark black, just absolutely gorgeous, shiny, silky smooth looking resin when you use that pigment paste. I really like it a lot. Now, when you are mixing in your pigment paste, you want to mix it really well. Start off small and add more as you go, as you need it. And make sure that you are scraping off your stick and mixing it up. I tend to wipe mine off after I've gotten the after it's the opacity that I want. There we go. And just because I don't want any leftover bits of pigment paste that are unmixed. To what I did 1 drop of the clear Elmer's glue. Now you can use any PVA glue to my knowledge as long as it is clear for this. And I'm mixing it up. Now for the interference colors, I'm using Let's Resin's silver, purple, green, and blue interference colors, along with they are interference or ghost kind of glitters in each color, with the exception of the silver. I don't have one, so silver just isn't getting one. Taking about 2 scoops of the interference powder, about that much of the glitter as well, mixing it together, and then adding 1 drop again of glue till we get that lovely snot-like consistency that we are looking for in this. All right, now all my pigments are all mixed up. Now I am just going to take a little bit of clear resin, add it into the butterfly mold, a little bit into the rose mold, and then we are covering the base of the cross as well as the front of the cross with this. I've never made any of these molds before with the exception of the butterfly mold, so I really don't know how much it's going to take. I'm hoping 6 ounces is going to be enough, but looking at the amount of resin that is left in the cups, I highly doubt it. Then I am taking my silicone tool and I am very slowly going around those 90-degree angles that are in the mold, taking it into the flower petals and just slowly working out any air pockets that might be in there. You want to do it slowly because if you do it super fast, you're just going to create more air bubbles, and that's not what we want. So, and then for the butterfly mold, I'm just kind of squishing it and pulling it just to get into those wings. They do go rather deep into the mold, so you want to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles stuck there. Now, I personally have never had an issue with air pockets in that particular mold in general. All right. Now, for the actual, well, it's pretty much for the cross is the only thing that we're using black for. I am going to put a tiny bit into the butterfly, but I'm talking like drips, and that's it. I am just taking my little mixing stick and kind of stringing it along and moving it just in certain places of the cross. There's no necessarily like rhyme or reason to where I'm placing the color. I just want to make sure that there's a little bit all over the place. Now, that being said, I don't want so much in here that it's completely covering the entire base of the mold. Like, I want there to be negative space because that's where our colors are going to go in. Now, from if you've seen the tray that I did not too long ago where I first kind of tried out this method, you'll know that you get like a really pretty marbling effect kind of, and the pigments don't move a lot, which is why I want to try it with the actual pigment paste to see, which I'm going to assume it's going to have the same results. However, pigment paste is a little bit heavier, so it could still just sink all the way to the bottom. I don't know, which is kind of why I'm layering the colors a little bit. So I'm going to go in with each one of my colors and kind of just drip it in here and there until we get to the end and we've used all of our colors, and then we're going to go back through until all of our colors are done. So we're just going to kind of keep layering it on top of each other until we've used up all of our resin, and then we'll see where we're at if we need to make up some more or not, which I am anticipating that I'm going to. I'm not necessarily putting colors in any particular order. Like, I just want to be able to see all of those interference colors shining through. Now, we know it's going to be basically white, but depending on the way that you're looking at it is where you're going to get those, the silver and the purple and the green and the blue kind of shining through a little bit. As far as the flower mold goes, it just is what it is. It's going to be how it kind of blobs in there. There's not a whole lot of control you have when it comes out as a whole big just ball of snot. It just kind of is. All right, back to the black again. And again, we're just going to continue to go over this. Now, I'm really, really running out of resin. I don't know how many more layers I'm going to be able to put in here. And at this point, I've come to the conclusion that I'm definitely going to have to mix up more resin. Now, here's the thing. I don't, it took me quite a long time to mix up the resin, put it through the bubble remover, divide it into the cups, mix all of the different pigments in there, and then actually go through and apply each one. So at this point, my resin, I've been working with it for close to that 40-minute mark. So I don't want to waste a whole lot of time in going through that entire process again. So I think I'm just going to mix up some more clear resin, and that's what we're doing. We're just going to add clear to it. Now, that being said, and because that's the way I'm going to do it, my results are going to come out differently than what I was kind of going for. I really just wanted to kind of see how they would be without the clear added onto the back. Now, because I put clear down in there and I'm putting clear on the top, there is a high probability that I'm going to end up getting like a crackle effect, which I don't necessarily want. We're just going to see how it is. And then next time I know I need to mix up, because I did another, I think it was like 3-ish ounces. So I did 6 before. So that's 9 ounces total. Now, granted, I did do the butterfly and the flower. That's probably an ounce right there. So this mold probably takes somewhere right around 8-ish ounces of resin. All right, I poured my clear in. I didn't worry about putting it through the bubble remover. I never really have an issue with Let's Resin, so I'm not worried about the bubbles. I think they'll all come out. I did not add glue to it. I just put straight resin in there. All right, so here's the flower. It came out perfectly. No air pockets whatsoever, which is amazing. And now it is time for our little butterfly. And I can already see that I got a lot more black than I anticipated getting in it. I don't know. It still looks rather cute. More black on one side than the other, but it's fine. It'll be fine. And now time for the main event. Now, as soon as I demolded this, I realized that it's a matte mold, which it doesn't necessarily look matte when you're just looking at the mold. It kind of has maybe not a super high shine to it, but it doesn't look matte. It is definitely matte, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. If you don't want a matte finished product, all you need to do is you can just go over it with either some UV resin, you can go over it with I mean, depending on what it is, like for the cross itself, for the top part of it, I could definitely do more of a like a top coat, and that would be fine. I'm going to interrupt myself real quick. If you do a top coat, make sure that you do not go over the part that goes into the base of the mold. Otherwise, it will not fit. So you need to stop it a little bit, like right at the very base of the cross. Tape it off or something to keep that resin from going there, but you definitely don't want to do the bottom part of it. Back to the other voiceover me. But as it stands right now, it's fine. It's fine. Maybe not so much matte. It's matte on the sides. The front, it's not like super shiny. Like you can look at the back of the cross, and the back of the cross is super shiny. The front of the cross, it's got, I don't know, it's weird. Maybe one step higher than matte. Like it's not super, super crazy matte, but at the same time, it's definitely not shiny. But you could do different things to shine it up. You could do a spray, like a gloss varnish or some kind of a spray varnish or something like that, and that would take care of it right away. Just make sure that if you're using some sort of spray, you are doing it lightly and do multiple coats if need be. Okay, so now I am just cleaning up the edges from the little sharpness because I did dome it. However, it did shrink back a little bit, and I've noticed that when I put it in my curing machine, it does seem to shrink back a little bit more than if you were to just let it cure on its own timetable. Which is fine. It wasn't, it's not that serious, but I do need to clean them up. So between using my deburring tool and a fingernail file, that's it. Super easy. Now you do want to make sure on molds like these that have two parts that, you know, go inside of each other, that you are filling your mold up to the top. You don't want to under pour, because if you under pour it, then what's going to happen is you're going to have too much room in like whatever, like for this, for instance, for the cross, if I underport the cross, there's going to be a lot of wiggle room. Like it's going to wiggle a lot. If I overport, I'm not going to be able to get it into that hole at all. It's already a really tight fit, which is nice. It's kind of what you want. Now you can choose to glue it in there if you want it permanent, or you can just keep it like this. Now, because it's such a tight fit, I personally think it's fine. This way you can take it apart if you ever had to like pack or whatever. It's easier to take it apart than to try and pack it as one piece. Now, I kind of fooled around with the idea of where I wanted these two items to go on it. At first, I was thinking the flower kind of like in the middle, but I didn't realize, because I never used this mold before, that the flower, it actually has a little doodad on it to where you can hang it. Like if you wanted to put it for a keychain, or I mean, it's kind of big for a pendant, but to each his own. You could very easily put a jump ring on there and hook it in, and you've got yourself a keychain. Nice, don't get me wrong, just not what I wanted for this particular project. So I didn't necessarily want that showing, so we're going to do something else with it. But first, I do want to kind of go along the tip of all of these petals and put some silver paint pen on them. Now there are a few leaves like towards the bottom, and those I'm just going to completely cover with the silver paint pen just to make them stand out just a little bit more from the actual petals themselves. And then we're going to move on to the butterfly, and we're just going to add a few little details here and there just to kind of, it honestly, it doesn't need it, but I just wanted to add a little bit of the silver in there to make it more cohesive with the rest of it. And we're going to bling it out with some rhinestones and just assemble it all and see what we get. Now, I did go back and forth on where I wanted the rhinestones to go. And I asked my husband, and he just thought that I should just have the cross by itself. So he said that I ruined it with the flower and the butterfly, and he wants me to make another one without any of the added crap, as he so called it. I didn't like that response, so I didn't ask any further opinions from him on this particular project. So I'm just gonna do what I want to do.
You guys know I'm right.
And yeah, I decided that I'm just gonna add the flower to the base, and I'm gonna take the little hole that's there and put it closest to the cross so it's kind of hiding it, and I'm just going to do that by using some E6000 glue, get it in position. Now, the reason that I'm doing this before I add the rhinestones is I decided that I'm only going to put the rhinestones around the base of it, and I don't want to put it in the wrong spot. So if I have this down already, then I know where not to go with the rhinestones and where they need to go and all of that good stuff. I did get a little bit of Let's Resin's UV resin along with their flashlight, their UV flashlight, and just kind of tack it down so that as I'm doing this, I don't have to worry about it moving or shifting. And then we're just going to take some liquid fusion and go just along the rim of this base with the rhinestones. That's it. I did decide later on after I was finished, I want to add one to the center of the butter or the flower and a couple on the wings of the butterfly. Glue the butterfly down. Now, when I did the butterfly, I did have to prop it up so that it would hold position. I didn't use any UV resin for that part because of how I wanted it up. It went, I mean, I probably could have made it work, but I was being lazy and wanted to be done. So I just propped it up with a couple of cups just to hold it into place until that kind of set. Now, it'll take a full 24 hours before the E6000 is completely cured. So you don't want to do too much moving with it. But after about 20 minutes or so, it's fairly set. As long as you're not messing with it, it should be okay. And that's it. I love the way it turned out. I did get more of a marbled effect than I thought I was going to get, and that's simply because of the amount of clear that I had to put in there to fill up the base of the mold. But it's fine. I think it turned out absolutely stunning. Like, I really like this a lot. Anyway, before I bounce off, I just want to welcome all of my new subscribers. I have gotten so many in the past month. I am so happy that you guys are here. And I also want to welcome and thank all of my new channel members. You guys are amazing. If you want to support my channel, there are many ways that you can do it. Being a channel member is one of them. We are doing monthly kind of challenge type competition things. Right now, we are in the middle of a clock challenge. And yeah, so we're having some fun doing that. Just kind of bringing everybody together and, just seeing what everybody creates. Kind of, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, that's a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you on Tuesday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Blue elephant is strong. Together we belong. In every comment right, you lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer.